Welcome to Between X and Z with Wallace and Doser. This is obstacle number 9 and getting into ketogenic diets. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, please, if you can find us on iTunes, rate us, follow us. You know you see us on Twitter at followxandz, Instagram Between X and Z. Shoot us an email, betweenxandz@gmail.com. Let us know what you think, topics you like. Tell us we're assholes, tell us we're cool. I don't know. Just hit us up, follow us, rate us, and we'll see you then. All right, welcome to the show. I'm Wallace.
And I am Dozer.
Alrighty, this is a good one. I mean, you think about one of our earlier casts, we talked about nutrition, dieting, fitness. It all ties together with the lifestyle. One of the hottest diets around now, I think, you could listen to Joe Rogan, you could see anything with you go on YouTube and type any good type of good diet, you're going to hear about ketosis, right?
Oh, yeah.
And not many people know about it. They all think, okay, that's just when your body's using fat instead of carbohydrates.
Well, I wonder if people had the same kind of impression I did, is that it was kind of like really difficult to understand.
It kind of is, because there's a lot of science behind the actual transition your body has to go through to get into the state.
Yeah, but to get into it, see, I was nervous about that. I know you did a lot of reading and with.
I absorbed a shit ton of content before I even attempted it, and it's still confusing.
Well, you've kind of been my guide through it too, and I've done a lot of reading on it as well. But yeah, I think a lot of people. Maybe I'm speaking for a lot of people, but for me, I thought, man, this is difficult. This is a difficult diet. I'm not going to be able to understand it. Not even talking about doing it. I'm talking about just simply understanding it. Yeah. And 3 days in, I'm not in ketosis yet, of course, but I'm close.
Takes a while.
I feel good. I had a couple of crashes, but we'll talk about those later. But yeah, to me, it's low fat, or it's high fat, low carbs.
Yep.
Watching kind of what you're eating, but you can kind of eat some bad shit.
Not
bad shit, but high fat shit.
Yeah, look at ketosis. Look at Google ketosis diet image or list or something like that, and click images within Google. You'll see the list, and you're like, wait, I can eat eggs with bacon grease, bacon, sour cream, all this shit.
Let's just put it this way:
all on there.
It is the opposite, I think, of what most people. I went to the grocery store to get some stuff.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Low
fat. Everything fat free.
Reduce sodium. Reduce this.
And it's the direct and polar opposite of that. And
what we've been taught, right? That's the main thing. You absorb any content. Most people are like, this. I know it sounds weird, but this is what your body was supposed to be feeding off of. And the scariest part, I think, where you're going with this is, what the fuck is a macronutrient? What does that mean? People that the scary, intimidating part of getting into this diet is figuring out how much you're supposed to eat and really putting it down on paper.
Well, and some dudes are really into it.
Absolutely.
But they prick themselves to make sure they're in ketosis at all times.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reading I was going through was like, you don't need to do that. No. You just need to make sure you're in ketosis. You'll know, you'll feel it, and the weight will come off, and your energy will go up, and you will love. It's not they call it a ketogenic diet,
yeah,
but it's really like a ketogenic life plan or ketogenic jump start on your diet.
I think the jump start's you nailed it right there, because you can transition into other things, which I'm starting to toy with now, as far as going into more of a paleo.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on your body style. It depends on your lifestyle. It depends on where you are in fitness. The main thing is just starting it. That was the hardest thing. If you can think about going to the grocery store, it's kind of weird to start searching for something that you've never done before. I used to love black beans. I still do. I love black beans. I love, complex carbs like some brown rice. I love certain things that really tie into the typical American meal, where you have your protein, you have some of your fats, you have your carbohydrates, and then, that's kind of it. You have some veggies here and there. You hear a lot of people like, I'm a steak and potatoes type of guy, but realistically, this is completely opposite to all that. It's fucking like having eggs in the morning with sour cream, avocado, coconut oil, olive oil, whatever you want to throw in there that is like a 70 gram.
And high salt.
And high salt. I mean, what does that mean to the body? It's very weird.
What is it, 3 to 5 grams of salt? That's what I was reading today.
At least.
Yeah, I mean, so I think salt's generally, you see it in milligrams, so 3,000 milligrams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And breaking down the nutrients is the hardest part. And I think anybody that's starting, I would highly recommend getting anything from like MyFitnessPal. I think Under Armour owns that now. It's an application on your phone. It helps you break down the macronutrients. And, you should really just aim for the basic setup, which is what? 5% carbs.
5% carbs, 25% protein.
70
fat. 70% fat.
That is your basic staple that you should really strive for. And
and you can also, sorry to interrupt you, but you can go to the keto calculator.
And that
will tell you,
that's what you need to do
that
first.
will tell you everything because, for example, you were eating, and we'll kind of go through your process and then mine, but you were eating what, 175?
Something around there,
175 grams of fat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to lose a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
And I'm also trying to get in ketosis pretty fast. My fat is, I think, at 126. Today I had 150 just because we'll get into that story too, but I fucked up kind of a meal at the beginning and I was really hungry and then I ended up eating more beef to kind of overload that.
I mean, that's a great starter. Obviously get the MyFitnessPal app and then also just Google ketosis calculator. There's a billion that come up and
they're free and easy.
Free and easy. Type in your stuff, kind of guess your body weight, and then you'll get your
you mean and your body and BMI.
Yeah, BMI. You'll get your BMI. You'll get everything that you need, and more of a recommended deficit. So that's the main thing is you got to figure out what you want to get out of a ketogenic diet.
Oh, and by the way, the deficit is pretty cool because you could go all the way down to like 0. Yeah, and that's rapid weight. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that shit. That's like competition guys or something.
Well, I think that's more cutting for comps. But I think the scary thing is you could pass out. You could have issues. Don't shock your body.
But it tells you that. I mean, that's the cool thing about the calculator. It says, like, hey, 20% deficit. That's severe. It's gonna be. I'm at 25 right now, and it says, hey, it's gonna be difficult. That's what it says. It's like it's very, very difficult. And the calories is what's killing me.
What about them?
I don't have many of them. I 17. So try to get 130 grams of fat. Okay.
Yeah.
And then also try to get
the carbohydrates.
A lot of your carbs have been easy for me.
Okay, really?
They have been. Yeah, I mean, not easy to deal with, but it has been easy to make a meal plan with fat and getting those calories and getting that protein. I struggled today with some protein. Again, though, mistake. It was not a part of the diet. It was a mistake that I did as far as prepping goes.
And I think that'll get easier. I think the mistakes happen because you're still in what everybody should look up is you're in the adaptive phase. So your body is basically switching over from burning the glucose that it comes from the sugar, all the carbohydrates that our diets are normally used to then using the ketones that come from your liver to then use as fuel. And the weirdest part is to switch over. And everybody's heard of this. I'm sure you could find this on any video, and you're going to experience this. The keto flu, right? Mm-hmm. The keto flu is gnarly. So like when I was into it, it took me 6 days to get into ketosis. And the coolest thing is kind of what you were saying in the beginning. When I used the sticks in the beginning, I was like, oh, I'm not in it. And then the more I read about the sticks, the more I'm hydrating myself, though. So if you're technically seeing ketosis, a high level of ketones in your pee, that means you're dehydrated because your body is not pissing out more fluid than it should be pissing out the ketones, which is the fat, So don't rely on the sticks. If you want, go get the breath thing. Don't poke your finger. Most people like your body. You should know.
The finger poking thing's expensive, too.
It's expensive, yeah. And you should actually start feeling the difference. I'm sure you can talk about this very well, but for me, about day 4 is when I started feeling some different shit, And you just gotta go into ketosis with a goal. Did you yourself have like, okay, hey, I'm Dozer, I want to lose this, I want to gain this out of this. You have to get something out of this diet because it's a very serious process.
I don't have a weight goal.
Okay.
I have my goal is weight loss. But with that being said, I don't have like a weight goal. Like I need to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds.
Okay.
I want to try it. I'm sick of doing random diets. You know, we've talked about this on the podcast before, especially with injuries and stuff. I kind of want to get my nutrition right and get something that works, something that makes me be able to eat, feel good, and not but not gouge.
You know what's really cool? This is gonna be a great experiment. We should have a follow-up podcast on this. Is how you go into your surgery with a better diet and a better regime, and how your recovery is. That's what I'm very interested in. I want to see if the ketogenic diet helps your recovery.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, you know, it's going to be odd because I wonder if, but I don't know. That's a couple, weeks away, so I'll be deep into
month,
it.
Right?
Yeah, it is this month, 22nd.
So you're going to be in ketosis. See, the reason I'm interested in this because I gained a lot of fat on my shoulder surgery almost 2 years ago because I had a shit diet. I had a shit diet going into and a shit diet after.
It takes a lot out of you mentally. It takes a lot out of you physically.
Well, then I'm high on the drugs that they give you, and I'm pounding food.
Or you're hurting, and when you're hurting, people, no matter what, you go to comfort. Yeah, it's like fuck, man. I'll eat a little bit of these chips.
Yeah, why not a piece of pizza?
Yeah, let's get some pizza, man.
Yeah,
let's have 4 pieces of pizza.
Yeah, why not?
And it's like
television. Too.
The thing for me, the first 2 days, I was just telling everyone about it. I'm like, this thing's awesome.
You had a high, right?
I felt good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, it was interesting. I was telling my wife this. I felt like, what? Yeah, I would want a cookie. I would want something that had carbohydrates, but I didn't need it because I felt like the fat and the amount of food and what I was eating. Well, not really the amount, but the heartiness of the food.
Yeah,
I felt, hey, that feels good. The third day, I screwed up. Didn't make my breakfast right. Ended up eating, something that's still within the diet. I ended up eating pork rinds, which are, believe it or not,
are they good? I don't remember.
Yeah, they're pretty good. You know what they give you as a texture?
That sounds terrible.
No, it's just, I think it's fucking fried pig skin.
I know. That
sounds like fat, but it's I mean, there's 0 carbs in them.
Yeah,
high calorie, and decent protein,
pure fat.
Yeah, but.
I
had that for breakfast.
The one thing you do have to worry about is the saturated fat. So we have a friend who really he's kind of the guy that we were using as far as a reference for ketosis. He's done 3 cycles now in a sense where he hit his weight loss, went back out, kind of ate like shit, realized that he wanted to go back into it, and
which is very common, by the way.
It is very common because you hit a goal and then you're like, oh fuck it, I'll just go back to my diet, and that that goes against what you're saying. I like what you're saying with. You don't have a goal. You have more of a lifestyle change. It's a massive difference.
Well, because I think that's the cool thing from the things I have been reading, just the success stories or just the trial stories.
Yeah.
If you do it, and you do it for 2 weeks at least, you're going to eliminate a lot of bad shit from your diet. Now, of course you can go back. But see, the thing is I don't feel starved. Yes, I felt flu-like today. I felt very down. I felt very irritated just at a certain point in my day.
That's a good sign, though. You need that.
It was also a mistake. Oh, and it was like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, boy, this diet sucks. It was like, oh, you made a mistake. Like I fucked up your schedule
your
and
organization,
regime. Yeah, and it was like, I ate something and I felt good when I ate it. Because, you could eat those. But it wasn't that hearty.
Pork rinds for breakfast.
Dude, some people eat chicken wings. Some
brutal.
people eat, but it's still within the diet. Because it is very similar to that Atkins, is where it's like you can just eat a pound of meat and some cheese and some mayonnaise on top of it.
What they went bad was the saturated. That's the killer. A lot of people gain their weight back.
And not only that, they didn't have a lot. I don't believe the Atkins really involves a high fat content. So there's a little bit more of a starvation method.
It is more of it's more of a low carb kind of. Starvation is a good word. I think that thinking about a goal, thinking about prepping when you get into this, you should definitely, when you're trying to get into ketosis. This is what I did. I ate the same shit every day, and I don't mind that. Like on Sunday,
me neither.
Before I cooked, I prepped 5 days of what I wanted to eat. What I knew it was the macronutrients. It was in my application. This is what I'm having every day. Every morning, I knew exactly what I was going to eat.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it.
The amount I needed. And that's a good way to do it because your body needs to adapt quick. You hear nightmare stories where it takes people 1 month to get into ketosis. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but you know, once you get into it, it's easier to get back into it.
But how is it? I mean, is it the only way they can't be getting into ketosis? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Is they're eating too many carbs and not enough fat at all?
I think it could be the way that your body. It could be fitness level.
It could be that too. It could be that too, and I think some of it is even genetics. Because I've heard some people go into ketosis in a day.
Yeah. Our friend could get in within 2 days now.
Well, that might be a little bit different because he's in the cycle. Because I have heard, that's what I was going to say earlier. I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's kind of one of the intriguing things about a system. Let's not call it a diet. Let's call it a system, you know, or a program. Because I've heard a lot of people be like, I went on vacation for a week and gouged, ate tons of carbs, went back on it the week I came back.
Snapped into it.
You know, I gained a couple pounds, gone.
That's what Rogan talked about. He talked about, he posted some picture on during the Thanksgiving era, and he's like, holy shit, Thanksgiving, you kicked my ass. Time to get back into ketosis. And there's a lot of research being done on it, but not enough to tell you if it's safe or not. Let's get real. If you're out in nature and there's food one day and then maybe 2 weeks later you don't have it and your body starts using fat and then you come into a big surplus of food, you're not going to be punished for going into that different state. It's just how fucking things go.
I can also... This is another thing that I struggled with diets, and I think a lot of people struggle with this, is it is not realistic, some of them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, like paleo's a lifestyle.
It's a big lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, and this seems like a jumpstart or a lifestyle. I mean, there's people that have been on this for years and have lost and then maintained, and then, you know, when
you gained.
Even
people that gained.
Yeah, but I mean,
you just have to adjust.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, you know, getting the oil right and the gas right for a vehicle.
It feels like that, and you're going to feel that. It's really weird because I hit the keto flu pretty hard. I hit it hard my first day. You're lucky. You went 2 days with it, and then a mistake got you.
I also eat like pure dog shit. You know, I have been eating like pure dog shit before this. So
I think this diet's going to change you for a lot. Like a mental game.
And I've always had
different.
I call it a wrestler's body.
Yeah.
I eat bad. I gain a little weight, but I never get real fat. I eat healthy,
just thick.
Yeah, I just get. Yeah, I get like, boy, I could lose some weight.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, and then eat healthy, and I can lose weight quick.
Yeah.
So I've always called that the wrestler body. I mean, by no means am I skinny. By no, you know, I'm probably more on like the, you know, stocky side right now. But
dad, it's not dad bod. You're not dad bod.
No, I'm not. No, I have extra fat that I need to lose.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of a semi-muscular guy, so I think that's what's going to be interesting for me.
It's going to be interesting because if you guys really look at the science behind you know, ketogenics, the hardest thing for me, so I finally hit ketosis day 6. The cool thing about it was day 3 was the hardest. I was crashing at work. My mood was very irritated. I think you just recently talked about that. You come home, you don't want to do shit. You don't want to talk to anybody. You're in that one, like, you're hangry. You're actually hangry. Because you're eating, but you're not eating the shit you're used to being comfortable with. You know what I mean? Coming home, opening up a big bag of fucking kettle chips, or, you know, whatever those are called, and just having a nice big dinner. No. It's way different.
I think the word for me is depleted.
That's the point.
So like on other diets, I almost feel starved or deprived.
Yeah.
I felt depleted today. I felt like a car running on very low oil.
Yep.
And then because I fucked up the oil changes for a couple of hours during the day, and then I got some shit going on.
Yeah.
And I felt like I ate dinner. Felt great.
Okay.
You know, had some coleslaw, and then had some had a small tiny salad with some like balsamic vinaigrette.
It's delicious.
Salad dressing, and I also had 2 sausages.
Yeah.
You know, some
perfect.
You know, and it was like, bam, right back in it. Great health, great ratios as far as the diet is concerned. And it was like, but it is hard because you get in those moments. Those are, I like to call those cheating moments.
What do you mean?
Well, because those moments when you feel like shit, that's when most people cheat. on the diet because it's like, fuck, man. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go get a bar or something. I'm gonna go get something.
So I've never smoked. I've seen people obviously working in tourism and around bars and shit. Addiction, and this is one of the biggest reasons I got into this diet and wanted to do it after the holidays is because lately I have been abusing sugar. And I think obviously with anybody that's seen any sugar documentary on Netflix or listen to the recent Rogan with that guy that talks about sugar, there's no surprise. Sugar's fucking ridiculously dangerous,
Oh, it's a huge drug.
They want to make it into like a scheduled drug. Like it's once again, it goes back to my Oreo argument. What the fuck? How are Oreos legal? There's nothing good in them.
They're horrendous.
Granted, you're an adult. You can choose what you want. You can choose alcohol. You can choose cigarettes. You can choose whatever, but let's get real. Why does it have to be on every fucking shelf that every kid wants with animated pictures and stuff? For me, I started hitting the sugar addiction wall about 3 days in. That was my worst day because someone at work brought a fucking box of cookies. And you just said, you looked at cookies and you're like, eh. Well, for me, I wanted them.
Well, today I definitely, I felt like I wanted some sugar. When I was in that depleted mode, which was for the majority of the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Kind of started a headache at around noon.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then I did want some sugar. Like, it would have felt really good to put some sugar in the body.
Because I hear, and there's another one. I don't drink coffee. And from what I hear, when you get off of coffee, it is the hardest 4 days for people because it is, Arabica is one of the, or what is it called? Something Arabica, the bean, is one of the hardest things to kick because you're used to the routine. People like the smell in the morning. Some people just enjoy the warm cup in their hands. For sugar, it's the same shit. Your body is literally starving out. You're almost like going into a rehab place in a sense for ketosis. You really are because you're starving out all these fucking desires for sugar.
I've always had stevia. I've always used it.
I hate that shit.
I love that shit.
Do you?
That chemical tasting shit is the best shit.
Well, you got to start using them in fat bombs. I'll tell you about those later.
Well, I have a ton. I mean, I've been on stevia for a long time. Like, that's what I drink my coffee with, and I also drink it black. It's pretty decent.
It's approved for the diet.
Yeah, definitely. It's nothing. There's nothing in it.
There's like one carb per little packet. It's not bad.
No, the stevia I have is 0 carbs.
Oh, you got 0?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
0 carbs, zero calories.
Yeah. What is it then?
Well, I mean, it's a plant. It's a natural thing.
It's so weird.
It's nothing. I mean, it is like, it's weightless too, man. That's the weird shit about it. It's like you have a whole bag of it, and it's like nothing.
But it's good to use that, and like at least with moderation. But really thinking about the addiction part, I lost my bananas when I saw these cookies. No shit. I walked into our break room in the school like 7 times and looked at them. I texted my friend who's done the ketosis and who's had felt that pain. And he goes, listen, you could have a bite and just throw the rest away and know that you don't want it, or just do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. Then my lifestyle change started coming back. I'm like, why do I want to keep going back to this? I'm trying to get rid of sugar, Mm-hmm. It was fucking hard. It was absolutely hard.
Well, and I think the thing is you got to get past that point.
That cheating phase,
and then you can, but you're never going to not eat a cookie ever again in your life.
You start changing your taste buds.
But still, you might not enjoy. I'm not saying you're going to go, wow, that was such a great cookie that I ate. You still might eat it because there's situations where you have a dessert and it's like that tasted great, or that tasted like shit and I feel like shit.
That's that cycle you're talking about when you can get out of it.
But that's what I like about this. And again, I'm not there yet, but that's what I like about all the things I'm reading. So that's not coming from experience, just other people's experience. It seems like people go, well, I can still do that and not binge, right? Because desserts are okay in moderation.
You've kicked the binging. So for me, like, I'm a terrible binger. I will call it the former President Bill Clinton syndrome, where he says, if it's in the house, I'll eat it. That's why you got to, like, when you're getting into ketosis.
You say that about Monica? Yikes.
Youch. He's looking old.
Yeah, he looks like shit.
I met him. He's a big, strong guy. It's funny. You really have to empty your diet. You have to. I'm not commenting on that.
I am.
No politics for me.
It's not about politics. It's about human ethics.
Oh, God. You have to empty your closets. You have to empty the pantry. You have to empty any snack place you have. You just can't. you can't have it around you because you know what? You will get that cheating phase. You're like, fuck, it's just one thing, one bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I was holding my carbs to under 25. So, you know, come that week or day 3, when I hit my wall and I was craving sugar, the next day was completely different. I got out of the flu. So the keto flu is a bitch. There's no way to get around it. I think the more you get in the diet, or maybe you're more fit and you're used to eating low carb and you just do this, could be easier. But
well, I've had a lot of. I was going to say I'm not more fit, but I've had a lot of experience with low carbs.
Yes.
I've had a lot of experience eating low carbs, whether it was for military stuff or sports or whatever.
Yep.
So listen, no one likes eating low carbs though. It sucks. I mean, especially 25 carbs a day. You know, that's like one piece of bread.
If you have 9, I had these like really good multigrain chips, and if you have 9, you have 17 carbs. So 9 chips is 17 right there.
Yeah, I mean, so just
think about that.
So you think like even, you know, because my carbs yesterday were like 40, but without the, you know, with the dietary fiber, I was right at 24.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's a net carb thing, which I guess isn't an exact science either because you have to take in sugar. Mm-hmm. But fuck it, to me, the simplicity of it. Yeah. If I had 27 instead of the 25, it's fine. I think I'm okay.
Some people actually even tell you can go up to 50 net. I didn't want to do that because I've just heard that through our resource with our friend, he just says try to stay as low as you can in the carbs. And I think your mistake today was a good mistake, and I'll tell you why. I've read a lot of research on people that fast to get into ketosis because...
The intermittent fasting?
Yeah, the very beginning, just first day, just don't fucking eat because your body will then go, okay, well, let's do fat. But then you're not like the next day pounding fat. So then your body goes, oh, we'll go back to our normal rate. No, you're getting into the diet that way. So it's a kickstart of the kickstart into ketosis. I wouldn't recommend it because you're too weak. I feel like that's way too much.
Well, too, the thing I liked about the mistake I made today was right now, I feel great.
Yeah, that's a good sign, man.
And I could feel, so getting through it, breaking, and then eating and breaking through it, and then going, wow, I feel good.
Yeah.
It's like that car. It's like that nice... Mm-hmm. You know, Mustang you got in the garage. It's like, why ain't this thing running right? The oil's bad, right? Like, let's put some fresh gas in that motherfucker. And then it's like, wow, it's purring like a baby here. It sounds awesome. And I felt that today.
Today?
Yeah. Well, after I ate about 30 minutes after I ate, I was just like, I'm spunky now.
What did you eat?
I ate. I already said coleslaw.
Okay.
I had some lettuce, romaine lettuce with some balsamic vinaigrette on it, and I had 2 sausages.
Okay.
You know, and the sausages were really good.
Just boom.
200, 200 calories each. I think they were sitting at
17 grams.
17 or 18 grams of fat each.
Right, yeah.
1 carb, and then like
just
12
sodium,
or 13 protein
shit in there. Yeah. That's what you need. You know, and the weirdest thing that I got was day 4. I left the flu and went to work, and I had to like check myself. I was like, did I eat something with like pot in it? I was starting to get that, what they call the euphoric, random states of euphoria.
Really?
I don't know if you read anything on
that.
I
I have not.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the pleasure brain, part of your brain getting fuel because it's actually starting to really use ketones and use the fat as fuel. Because I didn't change shit. You know, once again, from Monday to that Friday, I wanted a solid week of the same food so I can at least base my body on the actual phases of getting into keto, the adaptability phase, and I felt high. There would be like an hour.
And that was day 4.
Day 4.
So that's me. That's tomorrow for me, man.
Yep.
All right, I'm getting high tomorrow.
What's going on here? And then I would hit a small crash, but then I would eat and then feel even higher. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. But then I think this is the coolest thing about ketosis is you start to have that mindfulness. You really should not be worried about the pokes or the sticks. You should be feeling what your body is going through.
Well, and like I said, I'm no expert. I'm 3 days in, but I felt it today.
Did you?
I felt it after
which
eating.
Part? Oh, the eating.
Yeah, well, not the euphoric, but treating your body like an engine.
Yes.
In most diets, they don't call for that.
Yeah.
They call that you eat a certain amount of this or a certain amount of this. This, it seems to me, This is treating your body like an engine.
Okay.
And figuring out when you need to eat what you need to eat.
Yeah.
But don't eat the shit that really you shouldn't eat anyway.
That you've been used to eating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the killer. You know, like for me, come day 4, I was eating nothing different. If those cookies popped up, I walked by them and they were less desirable. I was like, okay, that makes sense, because my body was like, we're not using that. Yeah, that doesn't appeal. You know, you when you're eating,
you could eat it, but
you could. But the main thing is, like, you know, naturally your body, you eat with your eyes, and then your mouth salivates a little bit. It gets used to it gets ready to take that shit and use it as fuel. And when I was having that sugar temper tantrum the day before to the next day, my body was like, meh, let's go eat something else. I couldn't wait to eat my fucking romaine kind of like cup lettuce or whatever the hell it's called. Like kind of, what are those called? Whatever. You could just get
lettuce wraps.
Wraps. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cup things, whatever. Lettuce wraps with bison, sour cream, avocado.
That was the point I was
fucking good to me.
Well, this is the point I was going to make too. Is let's be very clear here. You're not eating like rabbit food.
Yeah.
You know, truthfully, greens are good, vegetables are good, but that's not the bulk of the diet, because you're not going to you're getting your nutrients from them, but you're not getting the thing that is keeping you in that process. You're not getting that fat from
high fat
fucking greens.
Good fats too.
And you can eat a lot of shit. You can eat chicken, you know, which normal most diets. You can eat fish, normal most diets. You can eat a hamburger with no bun, cheeseburger,
protein
which is you know, most people would go, a hamburger on a fucking diet. That's not even make any sense. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like, but it does for this diet. It's what makes sense, and it's not unhealthy because of the way you're changing the system.
And even getting into like, you know, what's the best thing to cook? The style of cooking for me, it's like simmering something in its own fat. You know, I forget the actual word. That's would kill me in my background, but you know, they recommend even getting, like, say, ground turkey.
I can barely cook hot dogs, so I have no clue.
But ground turkey, look everywhere. It's like 99% fat-free, low sodium.
Yeah.
No, bitch. Take that 85%, 15% fat in there and cook that thing, because it's just juicy and good.
That was what's interesting.
Good for you.
That was what's interesting about tonight. Normally, you have 2 sausages.
Yeah.
You feel like, oh, I'm blowing shit. I was like, boop, like the bar on my energy just went, and I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
Wow, I'm back into it. So, you know, and like,
that's cool.
Like I said, some people eat chicken wings. I heard, like, I wouldn't fuck with that.
I mean, you could dip it in the blue cheese dressing. You can get the fats out of it.
What is that, Joey Diaz?
What do you
say?
Cocoa.
No, blue cheese. No ranch with and as a guy from the East Coast, no, blue cheese or fuck you. I think that's what he said. No ranch. You don't eat ranch with chicken wings, and I agree with him. I agree with him on them.
Yeah.
You know, but
cheese.
That's the interesting thing. You know, for me, I haven't been able to kind of dive into those dressings because of the the calorie restrictions.
You should get some really good organic like ranch though. I put ranch on like broccoli.
But still the carbs. Or not the carbs.
Minimum.
I keep saying carbs.
There's a little bit of sugar in there.
I'm saying.
What do you mean?
Calories.
Okay.
Because if you're really strict on the calories, what are your calories a day?
Mine was roughly 2,100.
Yeah, mine are sitting at 17.
Yeah, you're very restricted. But it's different. Like I said, everybody needs to look up their keto calculator, look up your goal, kind of your lifestyle goal, what you want to get out of it, and then you can tie your diet.
And this is the
that.
beauty. Even if you're on like maintenance, you'll still lose weight.
You will. Like me.
That
was me.
Over time.
Yeah.
Well, you probably lost a lot of weight in that short amount of time because you hit it different.
Well, I mean, I was hitting it on the fucking head. I wanted to do this perfect. I wanted to see what it felt like. So, you know, day 4, I'm feeling high. I'm not looking at cookies anymore. Looking forward to my meals. Looking forward to getting home and crushing things. Looking forward to eating my fat bombs. You got to be careful with fat bombs if anyone doesn't know what that is. It's basically just a survival, not a maintenance food, but, you know, it's just a random, if you're lacking 20-30 grams of fat, it's one of those things that will get you to your goal at the end of the night.
See, I'm eating a lot of beef. Fat has not been a problem for me.
Good. That's good. Just watch I think you don't even really need to watch anything. That's good.
Well, saturated.
That's one thing you got to watch.
But there's not, I mean, it seems like the meat I'm eating hasn't had a lot of saturated fat.
Yeah. The fat bombs are good because, you know, you should be doing at least 3 times. Like, I don't even eat bacon. and I was rocking turkey bacon drenched in olive oil, and then using that olive oil on top of that.
Turkey bacon doesn't have that much fat.
It only has 2 grams per slice. So
but it's also only 30 calories per.
Yeah.
Which is a beauty.
It is a beauty. But I was doing 2 tablespoons of 16-gram olive oil in there and cooking those bitches down, putting that thing on there, and then using olive oil on my eggs, throwing sour cream in there, throwing the avocados. And my breakfasts were like 70-something grams. And this is the one thing that was cool. And I knew I started getting into ketosis in day 5 after being high in day 4 was I used to have my juice, like my awesome veggie fruit juice and stuff, which is a lot of natural sugars. I don't disagree with that. It's more paleo to eat some certain types of fruits. But I would have that at 10:30 on the dot, no matter what. I would always have that. My body's used to taking in fuel at 10:30. So then the first 3 days was fucking hard at 10:30. I was eating pumpkin seeds with a little bit of like cinnamon on top. Shake it up and eat it, and then kind of be stuffed. And then I tried to go to the gym, and I was too
pumpkin
weak.
seeds. That's a good idea with some cinnamon.
Yeah, go to fucking Costco. Pumpkin seeds, you can get them in the big pack, and I throw about 1/3 of a cup in there, shake it with some cinnamon, and just crush those, and I'd be full. So I did that. I used to do that at 10:30 on the dot just to get through it.
Pumpkin seeds are good as fuck, dude.
And the fat in there is amazing. You just
I ate
gotta
some
worry
sunflower
about the carbs.
seeds today.
I like those too.
That was a mistake, though, for me. That was one of my mistakes as well.
You should try
wasn't hard enough.
Sunflower butter, which is peanut butter sunflower. It has 20 grams of fat and only 2 grams of saturated per 2 tablespoons.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
See, and
pure fat.
I only got a little bit of light shopping done. I had to get some almond oil. I got a ton of meat. I mean, the meat I got. Well, because
it's good.
I know myself. I'm going to want meat. I got chicken. I'm going to start eat. I haven't eaten chicken in the 3 days. I've only really eaten.
It's got light fat,
beef.
though. You got to watch out. Chicken, you got to put something on it. You have to.
Well, the oil's great.
Put it in the oils and then put a dressing.
Almond. Have you had almond oil?
I have not. I'm not a fan of coconut oil.
I like coconut oil.
I need to get refined.
Do you not like coconuts?
I like juice, coconut water, but I don't like the actual coconut shavings. I don't like any of that.
Oh,
which is
dude,
delicious for you and it's good, but it's high in saturated.
Is
you
it?
You got to
really?
be careful. Yeah, it's very high.
Do you know this? What should you keep your saturated fat at?
Very, very low. Because our friend that had the resource guy, he got his blood done after the first ketosis attempt, and his saturateds went up. His cholesterol went out the roof.
Like LDL or whatever?
Very bad. So he switched it over because he was eating like fucking bacon this, bacon that, bacon oil, coconut this, coconut that.
But he lost 20 pounds.
He did, but internally, your
No,
arteries went up.
Sustainable. It's not sustainable. Yeah, because it's gonna you're losing weight, but you're fucking your body.
And he said he was crushing the wrong type of fat bombs. When I told him my fat bombs were sunflower butter, which is peanut butter sunflower seeds, regular peanut, actual natural stir peanut butter with a little bit of butter, and then like olive oil and some coconut oil and other shit like that. I got mine to like 2 grams of carbs per saturated. They're very, very low compared to his were like 10 to 12. It was really high. So
I just bought some stuff. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
I bought some stuff on Amazon that is
MCT oil?
No, it's egg noodles.
Nice.
And there's like 0 carbs in them.
Egg noodles?
Egg noodles.
The hell are they make? That's pretty sweet.
I don't know how they make them, man.
Eggs.
Those people smarter than me. But they make them 0 carbs. I mean, it's keto. It's
nice.
It's keto stuff.
You could have that with some chicken broth. That'll get your sodium up.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started tonight.
Good. No, that's good. You can get some good chicken broth that doesn't have that much in there. Get your sodium back, and then egg noodles that have no carbs. What's wrong with that?
No, well, I want it tonight. That's the problem.
That's a good.
No, actually, I'm not. I'm not hungry at all. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. So
not
day
hungry
5, that's what happened to me. So 10:30, my juice, my pumpkin seeds. All of a sudden, I wasn't hungry. I made it till like 11:50, and I was like, "Holy shit, I'm not eating." And then I went to. Here's the other thing: you guys are gonna piss your balls off, or your ladies are gonna piss out your ass.
I've always pissed though.
It's just. No, but this is a different type of piss. Me too. I always have like an Nalgene next to me. I'm drinking water at work left and right. I piss more than I ever have. And that's where you get headaches because you're dehydrated. You're pissing out your nutrients. Your body's starting to flush a lot more shit than it's used to.
You know what? I haven't been mindful of that. So that's kind of good you said that. Well, because I piss all the time. I've always been like, I probably drink about 1 gallon, 2 gallons a day. I mean, every day.
You should strive for about 1 gallon. at least.
Yeah, I think I drink. I mean, I always drink a gallon. I gush water, and I drink a lot of sparkling water.
Your body and this metabolic switch is getting rid of more stuff, and so definitely watch your sodium levels. That's a big reason why people say you get headaches is because you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
So just watch that shit. Make sure you're mindful of it because it's starting to tell you you're getting into ketosis. You're starting to transition. So day 5, I'm less hungry. I'm pissing a little bit less than I used to be, but I still felt great. My energy levels, I was cracking jokes at the office. I was the fucking that guy, you know? Like I was high again. And then went home. I think I played hockey or something like that. Either way, I pissed on the ketosis stick, just dark purple, which meant I was at the highest point of ketones in my urine.
I'm not there yet.
Which it was probably because I was a little dehydrated, but at the same time I was drinking a lot.
That part's depressing, though, somewhat.
What?
You piss on that stick, and it's like...
Moderate.
Fuck. Yeah.
Now, but see, that's where you can't get caught in it. That's when I started... I'd stopped using the sticks ever since because I was like, my body, I feel it. I started getting that metallic taste.
But you also have
mouth.
a pretty... I don't want to say sensitive body, but with your diet, you've always... You know,
it's not like I had a shitty diet before. In a sense, my breakfast was ketosis before. Same thing, eggs, turkey,
minus
bacon.
the fruit, right?
Minus the shake. The juicing. Yeah, juicing. And then my dinners were the same thing. Were turkey, bison, chicken, fish, a lot of veggies. And then I just cut out my, say, rice. Mm-hmm. And then add something else or some fats, some avocado, whatever it may be.
Here's a question: When should you piss? When should you piss on the stick?
When you start feeling different, like
tomorrow.
But
like time of day. Time of day.
They recommend certain times. Like some people say, don't do it when you wake up. You should wait for a little bit, but then don't wait until you're drowning out your piss you've already had a half a gallon of water. But like I said, the main thing is they say don't focus on the pee because if you're hydrated, your body's flushing out more water than ketones, and you're always going to show up a moderate trace. Versus when I pissed, I was probably after a sporting event or something, and I was a little bit dehydrated, but I had a heavy presence of ketone because I was just in the middle. About day 5, I was in the middle. I was like, fuck, am I ever going to get into it? Then day 6 is when it was at midnight. Boom is when I hit it. And then I felt like a fucking champ that next day. I was in ketosis. I finally made it.
And your pee stinks, right?
Pee stinks. And then you're going to get, some people get this, some people don't. You get a metallic taste in the back of your mouth, which is very weird and very gross. And another thing is you should be waking up every morning thirsty as fuck. I don't know if that's happened to you yet, but that's another sign that your body is really in ketosis because it's changing. It's just different. And every morning after that day 5 was just parched as fuck in the morning, trying to pound water. And another weird thing is you have a shrinkage in your body. So when you use the word depleted, I'm going to say that's kind of an overall thing because in a sense your muscles are depleting from glycogen, I want to say. I don't know, glycogen. I think it's glycogen.
Yeah, it is.
It's depleting from what it used to be fueled on. So you're starting to you're not losing muscle mass or shrinking unless your diet, you want to do that, but you are depleting. That's a very good word you use. You really should feel like you're depleting a lot of shit that your body used to be taking in as fuel. Mm-hmm. And you'll feel it. You will feel that. Tomorrow, I guarantee you'll feel that.
Well, I was shocked. I mean, like I said, and I'll be curious to see how it goes tomorrow, but I felt like shit. 8 gone.
Yeah.
I mean, and I didn't, that wasn't like, like.
Did you crave the fats? Like, I started craving fucking
Avocado.
avocado.
Well, and again, I've been eating
oils.
I've been eating a lot of beef.
Good.
So I start to crave not the taste of beef, but like the fat. I mean, I guess the fat. Like
the fat. Yeah.
It was man eating that sausage was like.
I'm hungry now.
See, I'm not.
Well, I mean, I'm switching more into. So now, day 6, I step on the scale. My goal originally was obviously to get rid of the sugars, but I just got back from Asia with the lady. I was eating like shit.
Looking like you were weighing in for a fight day 6.
Yeah, so like I was drinking beer every day on the trip, which was fun. It's fucking holidays. Why not? Kind of what you're talking about. Like if you want to be able to do that, you can. You should be able to. I think it's called targeted ketosis. Or no, that's when you have a sporting event. Cyclical ketosis. So a cycle, you basically, some people will do like 6 days on, 1 day off, but then that 1 day off is more of a refeed, but you guys can get into that later, research it on your own. It's kind of difficult to understand and talk about, but essentially day 6, I had stepped on the scale and guess how much I lost? I'm sorry, day 8, I jumped ahead. I had a goal I want them to lose 5 pounds of fat because my trip, my surgery, there was some shit left over on my body that I was like, okay, I cannot lose this. Don't know what it is. Let's see what I can do with ketogenic diet. Day 8, step on the scale. I lost a lot of weight.
What was that number?
Fast. I lost 6 pounds in 8 days, which is kind of unhealthy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Normally with ketosis, you should be losing about 1 to 2 pounds a week. Something kind of in that
But
ballpark.
You know, though, that doesn't seem like a very common thing. Because I've seen people, I've heard a lot of people lose 10 to 20 pounds in a month.
Yeah. So I was on pace.
So it can't be the one. I think that's maintenance.
I was trying for maintenance,
but if you're depleting yourself,
calories.
if your deficit is in any realm of difficult, you know, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But plus, I heard you lose a lot of water weight too, right?
Even then, I was hydrated. Piss was always crystal clear, which is what you want.
But you still lose water weight. Like anytime
in the very beginning, you do.
That's one of the things I always say because I drink so much water.
Yeah.
You know, if I feel bloated and heavy, if I go back to just eating healthier, I lose 4 to 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of water weight. It's a lot of carrying, you know, eating shitty food and carrying it in your body. But yeah,
and you're pissing so much too. Like it's starting to come out. But the thing is with water weight, I made sure I was replenishing. Sodium was back in my body. This was actual weight. Like I started seeing my rib cage again for the first time in a long time.
The first time I saw you on the diet, was a couple days ago.
Yeah,
and I said, "Man, you don't look skinny. I mean, like
what was different? Like, what did you visually see?
You look defined. You like your face, like places you don't normally see someone losing weight.
You lose excess fat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Trimming.
That's it.
Yeah.
That you know, you always see those guys with like I always call them cyclists. Like cyclist skin, it's like leathery, but
cycling.
like no. We're not getting off on that, but you know that cyclist skin. It's like or runner, like a serious runner skin. Yeah. You know, it's just like low fat, tight, and kind of leathery.
Yeah,
but not that you looked like that, but I saw that in your face. You just kind of looked a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I felt lighter. You can feel it too. I mean, shedding 6 pounds. I mean, that's. Majority was fat. You know, man, I don't feel like I lost any muscle mass.
What a concept.
It's crazy.
Eat a ton of fat and lose fat. I mean,
it sounds like one of those stupid too good to be true infomercials.
It sounds like an infomercial at 2 a.m. and you're like eating a bag of chips like, dude, I need to do something. I need to do something here.
Sorry.
I need to lose the weight.
It's so bad.
I'm going to do this, guy.
It's science. I mean,
call now for $19.99. When you call, we'll give you 2.
But the diet started out as something for people with like Parkinson's, for stopping tremors in their hands and shit, so they wouldn't shake.
And diabetics, right?
Absolutely diabetics. To get the ketone sticks, you got to go in the diabetic aisle. And you know, with this, you can use this at an advantage. I'm really intrigued, as you're intrigued, with using this to. You know, you look online and there's a lot of people that are spokesmen for this, and I know a guy I've been following. I'll give him a shout out, bodybuilding.com. I forget his name, but he's their spokesman online, and he's been on Ketogenic for 10 months now, and he does the refeeds, and he'll hit a carb day. And they always talk about carb days, meaning like every 21 days you're supposed to replenish the glycogen in your muscles, so you don't like, these are bodybuilders that want to look bigger, because realistically you can't get a good pump on ketogenic because there's really nothing fueling those muscles. But I think there really is something to getting out of it if you do go on vacation. And you know what? You're not going to fucking nitpick on vacation. You're going to want to enjoy the food of the culture you're in. You're going to want to see something new. You're going to, you want to enjoy your time in your life. We're only around for so long, right? But when you get back, you can jump back into ketogenic in a day.
Well, see, and again, too, you feel good.
Yeah.
Most diets, you don't feel good. You're starving yourself. You're depleting yourself in a bad way. So it's like, I think when you're doing something like this and you're losing and you're feeling good doing it, again, I'm day 3, so I can't really say that that's my experience, but I'm just read on it, people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of, man, I've been doing this for a year.
A long time.
How many diets do you really hear of people doing for a year? I mean, paleo is one of them.
It's been around for a while.
Well, paleo's also had a huge increase because of like CrossFits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at paleo's a good diet too. It's a lot of prep. That was my
that's
issue
what
with
I'm
paleo.
getting into now.
Lots of prep.
You know, I lost so much weight, and I was even on the maintenance calories and or macronutrients of ketogenic diets. But paleo is very similar. The main thing is like I'm now going from 25 carbohydrates.
Add fruits.
I'm adding fruits. That's it.
The and you can eat a couple of other different things.
Sweet potatoes. You can eat.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little bit of research on Mark Sisson. He talks about.
His is not a normal paleo though, right?
He's primal. It's called primal.
Yeah, but it's not like
it's a looser one, I want to say, because on paleo you're not supposed to have dairy, and I'm pretty sure he's dairy friendly, certain dairies.
That guy's for real.
But look at his body.
That dude's for real.
They always talk about your body as your business.
And he's smart, and he's very smart.
I think that the main thing I'm getting out of ketosis, or what I got out of I was on it for 10 solid days, everybody's different. Your body's different. It's going to react different. You're going to look at me. If I kept going on it, I was going to lose a lot of weight. So this is what I did. This is the coolest fucking part of knowing your body. I cheated on purpose because I knocked myself out of ketosis just to see what, like, I started to transition into paleo. Granted, I didn't have to do this, but what I did was I had some fucking froyo with my lady, and I added the worst of the fucking worst on there. Overloaded my sugar thing, and you know what happened?
Huh.
I felt awful.
Did you really?
I felt awful for a day. Like, we had it at night. I woke up, still felt like shit. And I was like, dude, that is awesome. My body is, my stomach
You're
hurt.
rejecting it.
My insides hurt as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is nuts.
Froyo is delicious.
Before I got into, it's delicious. Before I got into the diet, I was eating like shit on purpose because I knew I was going to be restricting very, very much. So nothing hurt like it did when I had gone into ketosis and then gotten out of it and done this.
Mm-hmm.
So then right away the next day, no cravings for sugar again. And I researched a lot on paleo and added just a little bit of carbohydrates. So from 25 to carbs, I went up to about 100 to 150. I'm eating the same proteins, the same fats, probably a little bit less fat now. You're subtracting a little more fat.
What were your carbs you added? Just tell me some foods.
Man. Some people recommend buckwheat. Some people don't. Quinoa.
So you've been adding some quinoa?
A little bit of that, yeah. But for me, like sweet potatoes, you can do a little bit of moderation, but realistically, more veggies. More broccoli, asparagus, spinach. I went to Costco and just got a bunch of more greens. So I'm eating a lot more veggies that do bring up the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way.
Have you made that cauliflower rice?
Yeah, it's fucking delicious.
Is it good?
Yeah. So what I used to do, what they recommend, and I put in 4 tablespoons, no, probably 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then you just let that bitch cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. Keep turning it, and when it comes out, you just crave that fat, man, because it soaks in.
And how many carbs
enough.
are in that?
Not too much. I forget how much it was adding.
Cauliflower doesn't have a lot of carbs, does it?
No. You just got to watch the...
you know what has a ton of carbs? Carrots.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have carrots.
Yeah, I can't have carrots at all.
You can on paleo.
You know, some of my coleslaw
yeah
has like shavings.
That's okay. I think you'd be
because
okay.
That's the only reason that
you're being very strict at 27 carbs to start. Once again, people go up to 50 net.
Well, today I'm sitting at like 19.
Yeah, you're sitting at
and I'm not eating anymore.
Pork rind.
Yeah, fucking 8 pork rinds at 19. Yeah, it's
you're gonna
crazy.
hit by tomorrow. I think you're gonna start transitioning tomorrow. There's something about like the first week. People say between
Super Saiyan tomorrow. I'm ripping my shirt off.
3 and 7 days, I think, is what it takes to get in ketosis. But like our reference friend, he can get back into it within 2 days. 2 days of he'll binge at fucking
his body's used to it.
Shitty donut stores and crush, and then go, what was I doing? He'll get back into it the next month.
I just pictured him waking up in the donut store going, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
And he
gets in his car, he's shaking like,
no, but
like
he gets
a drug
back in
addict.
2 days. He gets back in ketosis in 2 days. This is his 3rd round, and it's happened even faster.
That's interesting. I mean,
it is interesting.
But you know, and we probably got to wrap this thing up here shortly. But that's the beauty of it. I mean, you started the thing. What do you want out of it? Yeah. I want a lifestyle change. We've talked about that a little bit on this diet. Climbing that hill, moving up on the diet scale.
It's easier to climb when you're lighter.
Oh, well, it certainly is, and it's also climbing other hills because having a good diet.
Surgery, man. I'm very interested in how you're going to react to surgery. If your body's going to heal faster, if you're going to feel better, if you're going to have more motivation to do rehab. I'm very interested. I cannot wait to hear that.
Well, and for the fathers or the people with families, the thing I wanted to point out,
dogs,
not so much. But the thing is a lot of the other diets forced me to not be able to eat anything of what the other people were eating.
Yeah.
So the difference now is, like, you got to be careful with some of the things the wife makes. She'll put just some stuff on it, like, some sauces or stuff that I can't have. But she can still, or I can cook it simultaneously. Like, okay, you having beef tonight? Yeah, I'm having beef too.
Yep.
So we can just, here, you just kind of go through it and fix it.
Yeah.
But it is easier to kind of get in that line and do that when you have a family. It hasn't been that bad of a diet. So yeah, no, I mean, I think we got to wrap it up. The question I was going to ask was, is this a fad, or is this a real legit way a lot of people are going to diet?
I think for me, looking into what Mark Sisson did, looking at all the different types of paleo branches and whatnot, I think what I want to do with ketogenic diet is branch out into continue into this paleo style, but make it more modified. Make it modified to how my body does better, what I get out of it as far as a healthier lifestyle, because paleo ties in great with what we talked about on that diet and fitness podcast, like number 2 or 3, was it's a triangle effect. The bottom left, say it's your nutrition, the bottom right is your routine, but the main point is almost like the brain portion. It's your whole lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And this really, really tied everything together to me. It was amazing. Yeah. And so now I'm finding out what's going to work best for me on paleo. I still have energy out the yin yang.
So for you, it was a jump starter.
Absolutely a jump starter.
And for me to answer that question is, I mean, I think that could even be the title, maybe. I don't know, but because I think that's something a lot of people are asking. Is this a fad? Is this that thing in a year or two we're going to hear, hey, that actually killed you? Well, I mean, that's what happened. You remember Atkins? Dude, it was big corporations changed their menus for Atkins, and then it's like,
Atkins
actually,
friendly.
Dr. Atkins really didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. There was some shit that was fucked up on that. Yeah. So for me to answer that question, is it a fad or is it a life changer? I'm too soon to know.
I think if you think about the nature aspect to it, and fasting gets you into the ketosis and your fat, it's only burning ketones or carbohydrates, glucose, and I think feeding one or the other, it's just cool to see the difference, which I've never really felt before outside of like fasting before blood drawing or whatever it was. But then I go right back and eating the same way. When you get into that phase, you feel it, and it feels amazing. You feel different. They talk about mental clarity coming different than it's ever done. Maybe it's because, like, your body's absorbing information a different way. I don't even know. I want to get into that shit, but just do it and see what it feels like. I did 11 solid days. I lost a lot of fat, or I guess I did 8 solid days, lost all that weight, then started transitioning more into the paleo.
But still into a healthier jumpstart diet. Yeah.
Something that adding more greens and veggies.
Similar.
Not that hard.
You're talking semantics. And you're talking process of the body, but still.
That's it.
It's not a drastic change. Yeah. It's not like you're back to eating, donuts and shit.
But I still throw ketones a little bit. I used the stick the other day, and I was still, I had a moderate amount.
Well, think about that. Weird. I mean, I'm only 3 days in, and I'm having moderate ketones. So yeah.
It's all relative. I think you just got to find what works for you and use it as a jump start, and that's it. I don't think it's a fad. I think it's a lifestyle change if you make it that.
So yeah, I mean, let's wrap this thing up. Of course this isn't all we're going to talk about, guys, but I think you guys are going to follow us during this process. Definitely what Wallace's journey is and what my journey is going to be on, or how long that journey is. I might transition to paleo too. Might lose a tremendous amount, whatever. But you're going to follow us on this podcast. Again, we're not going to turn into a keto podcast.
We're not scientists.
This is the same shit it's always been. This is a life podcast. This is climbing that hill, getting better, while we're trying a bunch of different shit to get better too, and some rants and some rumbles. So, this has been another great podcast here. This is Between X and Z. I am Dozer.
This is Wallace.
Peace, guys. See ya.
Later.